Welcome to CandleLight Audiobooks. The Secret Misses. Chapter 151. Little Bun had carefully prepared a birthday gift and surprise for her. He had been eagerly looking forward to it at first, then his anticipation had started to wane, then when he panicked and became scared when he couldn't get in touch with her. Wasn't this too cruel a thing for him to experience? Thinking about this, Luna felt a knife twist in her heart, and for a moment she hugged Little Treasure and refused to let him go. Theo didn't want to disturb the two of them, but out of one last bit of brotherly concern, he reminded her, "Luna, ask Little Treasure to call back those robots." Oh, right. Only then did Luna remember that there was still an army of robots out in the front destroying the house, and Cleo's arm was still being held hostage. So she hurriedly said to Little Bun, "Darling, can you call them back?" Little Treasure nodded, then faced the screen, his tiny fingers moving swiftly on the keyboard. Luna was very impressed by his skills and gasped in admiration. "Darling, how are you so amazing? I thought you could only draw." "This is too amazing. These last few years I've been studying so much, and I went crazy trying to learn everything and anything, but this is the one thing I could never grasp. What programming, what C language, C++, it was a real nightmare for me, but you're only 5 years old and you're so smooth. You're a genius." Little Bun's expression was still wooden, but the light in his eyes brightened. But nearby, Theo could no longer leave things as they were and sighed slightly. "Luna, this is not the time to praise him." That's right." Luna finally reacted to the huge mess that Little Treasure had caused. Troubled, she scratched her head and looked at Theo. "You're not going to make me instruct him not to do this again, are you? He did everything he promised me he would. He's not starving himself anymore, he's not throwing things around. In the end, he elevated his methods. If I tell him not to do this anymore, what are we going to do if next time he comes up with something even more advanced?" Theo. With Little Treasure, it was very possible. Luna spread her hands. "To summarize, I think it's better that I don't say anything." Actually, she was being selfish. She didn't want to criticize Little Bun for what happened today. She loved him too much and just couldn't love him enough. How could she say anything harsh to him? Fortunately, Theo in the end didn't insist. Basically, in front of Luna, his principles became nothing. The three of them took the open-top car back to the entrance of the Goldberg residence. Luna was surprised to see that all the robots, which had been causing so much chaos just now, had lined up neatly in 2 rows, one on each side, as if to welcome them. It was a pretty grand scene. The only thing to spoil it were the anguished wails nearby. "Brother, what took you so long? My freaking arm is dislocated." "You scream like this for just a dislocated arm." Luna looked at him disdainfully and jumped out of the car. She pressed down on his arm and pulled and lifted it with a kaba sound. "Ouch!" Cleo screamed like a pig being slaughtered. Luna patted his shoulder. "Stop screaming. It's done, check it." "Huh?" Cleo blinked and moved his arm. It really was fixed. But he was still worried and he murmured, "Did you put it back in the right spot?" "Of course. I'm very experienced," Luna said confidently. Cleo's face was full of suspicion. "May I ask why are you experienced with this type of thing?" "Luna, because I used to fight with Adam a lot, and he dislocated his arm quite a few times. I was the one who helped him put it back." "Cleo. Are you sure they were fights, and not you beating him up one-sidedly?" He really worried for his brother's future. Would it contain domestic violence? Forget it, what was he worried about? Even if his brother got beaten up, he would definitely take it gladly. Little Bun had carefully prepared a birthday gift and surprise for her. He had been eagerly looking forward to it at first, then his anticipation had started to wane, then when he panicked and became scared when he couldn't get in touch with her. Wasn't this too cruel a thing for him to experience? Thinking about this, Luna felt a knife twist in her heart, and for a moment she hugged Little Treasure and refused to let him go. Theo didn't want to disturb the two of them, but out of one last bit of brotherly concern, he reminded her, "Luna, ask Little Treasure to call back those robots." Oh, right. Only then did Luna remember that there was still an army of robots out in the front destroying the house, and Cleo's arm was still being held hostage. So she hurriedly said to Little Bun, "Darling, can you call them back?" Little Treasure nodded, then faced the screen, his tiny fingers moving swiftly on the keyboard. Luna was very impressed by his skills, and gasped in admiration. "Darling, how are you so amazing? I thought you could only draw." "This is too amazing. These last few years I've been studying so much, and I went crazy trying to learn everything and anything, but this is the one thing I could never grasp. What programming, what C language, C++, it was a real nightmare for me, but you're only 5 years old and you're so smooth. You're a genius." Little Bun's expression was still wooden, but the light in his eyes brightened. But nearby, Theo could no longer leave things as they were and sighed slightly. "Luna, this is not the time to praise him." That's right." Luna finally reacted to the huge mess that Little Treasure had caused. Troubled, she scratched her head and looked at Theo. "You're not going to make me instruct him not to do this again, are you? He did everything he promised me he would. He's not starving himself anymore, he's not throwing things around. In the end, he elevated his methods. If I tell him not to do this anymore, what are we going to do if next time he comes up with something even more advanced?" Theo. With Little Treasure, it was very possible. Luna spread her hands. "To summarize, I think it's better that I don't say anything." Actually, she was being selfish. She didn't want to criticize Little Bun for what happened today. She loved him too much, and just couldn't love him enough. How could she say anything harsh to him? Fortunately, Theo in the end didn't insist. Basically, in front of Luna, his principles became nothing. The three of them took the open-top car back to the entrance of the Goldberg residence. Luna was surprised to see that all the robots, which had been causing so much chaos just now, had lined up neatly in 2 rows, one on each side, as if to welcome them. It was a pretty grand scene. The only thing to spoil it were the anguished wails nearby. "Brother, what took you so long? My freaking arm is dislocated." "You scream like this for just a dislocated arm." Luna looked at him disdainfully and jumped out of the car. She pressed down on his arm and pulled and lifted it with a kaba sound. "Ouch!" Cleo screamed like a pig being slaughtered. Luna patted his shoulder. "Stop screaming. It's done, check it." "Huh?" Cleo blinked and moved his arm. It really was fixed. But he was still worried, and he murmured, "Did you put it back in the right spot?" "Of course. I'm very experienced," Luna said confidently. Cleo's face was full of suspicion. "May I ask why are you experienced with this type of thing?" "Luna, because I used to fight with Adam a lot, and he dislocated his arm quite a few times. I was the one who helped him put it back." "Cleo. Are you sure they were fights, and not you beating him up one-sidedly?" He really worried for his brother's future. Would it contain domestic violence? Forget it, what was he worried about? Even if his brother got beaten up, he would definitely take it gladly. Chapter 152. Ever since Luna came back, Little Bun had completely switched to shadow mode. He went where she went, keeping close to her. Downstairs in the living room, Cleo also had shadow mode switched on. He followed Theo wherever he went. Brother, my dearest brother, the two of you, what did the two of you do the whole night?" Theo made coffee and sat on the sofa. "We talked." Cleo choked, as disappointed as a puppy that had not gotten its meat bone. "Fine, forget I asked. What progress have you made on the thing I asked you to do?" Theo asked. Cleo instantly switched to business mode, and he answered seriously, "Things have started moving already. Within a month, Martin Madrazo's Eric Williams real estate will have disappeared from the capital." "What about Luna's issue?" Cleo organized his thoughts, then said, "Because the production crew stopped the news from leaking, I didn't hear about it in time." As for now, there's no way the one who set her up would continue obstructing the news, and it has spread online already. What's worse is that the props master claimed in an interview that Luna bribed him to tamper with the prop. So now it's no longer just a public opinion issue. If Emma files a charge, the police might take Luna away to be investigated. The violent currents coming off Theo could devour the whole world. The sofa under him had become the skeleton throne of the big demon king, and each word he spit out was like ice. I would like to see them try. No, sister-in-law has you to support her, nobody would dare touch even a strand of her hair. Cleo hurriedly flattered him, then said in a positive tone, brother, don't worry, I've already had someone secretly bug the props master's house. In this period of time, he will definitely get in touch with the person behind all this. There's no need to worry that we won't obtain evidence, we'll see who gets taken in by the police then. Theo wasn't satisfied, and he tapped one finger on the coffee table. Efficiency. Hearing this, Cleo got upset and he muttered, this is a good idea, how is it not efficient? From the depths of the TV cabinet, Theo pulled out a gun and threw it directly in front of him. The corner of Cleo's mouth twitched. Sheet. You're too simple and uncivilized. You have no finesse at all. As they were talking, there came the sound of footsteps. Theo silently put the gun back, then turned his head to look warmly at the person who had come in. Is little treasure asleep? Yes, finally. Luna answered, then said in a rush that, Theo, I have an urgent matter to attend to, I need to go out for a bit, I've already left little treasure a note, my phone is fully charged, you can contact me anytime, I'll be back in not more than 3 hours. That's it, see you later. As soon as she finished, she ran away like the wind. Cleo rubbed his chin. Brother, where is sister-in-law going in such a rush? Theo had a contemplative expression on his face as he looked in the direction that Luna had disappeared in, then he said to Cleo, get someone to follow her. For Luna to suddenly leave at this hour, there had to be more to it. He would go after her himself, but he couldn't leave little treasure at home alone in his current condition. What, get someone to do it, I'll go. Cleo immediately took the mission happily. Cleo went back to his place and drove out a fairly low-key black car to follow Luna, who was driving her motorbike like a tornado on the road. After 20 minutes, he followed Luna to a stop in front of the apartment where she had been staying before. While he monitored the activity over there, he gave Theo a real-time report. Chapter 153. When Luna returned to her apartment, she immediately pulled out a metal suitcase from the bottom of her big closet, then she carefully checked and cleaned its contents. Taking a look at the time on her cell phone, Luna threw everything into her bag, then rushed downstairs. Not far away, Cleo was reporting to the person on the other end through his Bluetooth headphone as he drove. Luna went back to her apartment, and came back down in less than 5 minutes. We are currently on this road, headed towards the outskirts. After half an hour, Luna finally stopped. Cleo looked at the dilapidated houses around him in shock. Sheet, isn't this where the props master lives? Why did Luna come here all alone? Don't tell me it's to reason with him. That's just to nah, the. Turn on the monitor. A cold male voice came through the Bluetooth headphone. Oh right, I almost forgot. Cleo hurriedly grabbed his laptop from the back seat. Brother, wait a sec, let me broadcast it through my phone for you. Before Cleo finished speaking, he suddenly realized that he had lost control of his computer, and he was instantly dumbfounded. Brother, you actually hacked my laptop. I already said I would use my phone to broadcast it to you. Can you not be so impatient? Jack Garcia's wages in the production crew were pretty good, but because he was a gambler, he had no savings and had a lot of debt, which was why he was living in these slums on the outskirts. Luna had heard all this when he was drinking and talking with the other people on set. Dong dong dong, Luna knocked 3 times. There was no sound from inside. Luna kept knocking until she heard a bang from inside, accompanied by the sound of slippers on the floor. The rusty iron door was pulled open from inside noisily. Who the fuck is it? Want to die first thing in the morning? He was mid-speech when he properly realized that the person at the door was Luna, and his expression changed abruptly. "Teacher Jack, I trust you've been well since we last met." Luna smiled and looked at him. Jack was going to close the door straight away, but then he thought of something, and changed his mind. He said in a lazy tone, "What a surprise. It's Big Beauty Brown. Come in." A fetid odor overwhelmed Luna as soon as she entered. It was the stench of alcohol mixed with smelly socks, and the odor of mold, as deadly as the smell of canned herring from that morning. "Make yourself at home." Jack lit a cigarette, then his muddy eyes were glued to Luna's body, sweeping over all her aspects impudently. Luna sat on what was probably the only clean chair in the house, and immediately got right to the point. "Let me be clear, I'm sure Teacher Jack knows why I'm here. I need your confession. Please explain the truth, that Emma was the one who directed and acted out her own little show, and that I wasn't the one who set her up." Jack laughed after hearing her words, as if he saw through her. "Little girl, are you recording this? Do you want to trap me?" "Hee, you are too ve. Sorry, what I told the reporter was the truth." Jack was like a dead pig, which wasn't afraid of being scalded by boiling water, and a shrewd light flashed in his eyes. "Unless you can offer a better price." Luna narrowed her eyes slightly. She had already expected this from the beginning. After taking Emma's money, Jack wouldn't run, he would just continue gambling, and most likely lose everything again in the end. Now he even wanted something from both sides. A dead pig unafraid of being scalded by boiling water means that a situation is so bad that making it worse would make no real difference. Chapter 154. What if I say no? Luna looked at him with a half-smile. Jack's eyes wandered between her chest and her buttocks pervertedly, and he rubbed his chin. "If you have no money, then we can figure something else out. If Big Beauty Brown can sleep with me for a night, I think I could give you some useful information." The implications were clear. If you want a confession, give me money, or your body. In fact, for someone as deceitful as Jack, even if he got what he wanted, he still wouldn't confess, and by then she would have lost both her body and money. At the same time, downstairs in the car, looking at what was happening on the monitor, Cleo was reminding his brother via his headphone nervously, "Brother, calm down. Don't get agitated. You need to calm down. You have to be gentle with my little laptop. I have hundreds of gigabytes of treasure on my hard drive. Go upstairs, now." The command came through the headphone. Yes. I'm going right now." On the monitor, Jack was getting closer and closer to Luna. Cleo held his laptop in his arms as he started to run wildly. At the same time, Jack walked over to Luna's chair and placed his hands on the arms of the chair, his breathing becoming more excited. "Well? Isn't this a good deal? Not only do you get what you want, you can also have fun." Luna lowered her eyes, her expression hard to see in the dark, and from her cherry lips came a light mocking laugh. In the next second, Jack felt something cold and hard pressing against his waist. He looked down, and his face immediately turned white. The thing pressed against him was a black gun. You. Jack's first reaction was to flee. At that moment, Luna's dark, cold laugh came from behind him. "That's right, run. Try it, and we'll see whether you're faster, or my bullets are." Jack's sweat fell like rain. He turned his body stiffly, and laughed in a relaxed tone. "Little girl, you really had me going. Trying to fool me with a toy gun. Shoot. That is, if you have the skill. Here, right here." Luna moved her fingers slightly, and with a small kaba sound, she screwed on a black, tube-shaped muffler on the gun and fired. With a pu sound, a bullet grazed Jack's arm as it flew past and cut a line of glaring sparks across the floor. All this happened in less than 3 seconds. Jack covered his stinging arm and fell to his knees with a thump. "Sister. Big sister, calm down. That's a real gun. It's not a joke. Confession." Luna threw a recording pen at him, and took a look at the time on her phone, her face showing that she had run out of patience. Little Treasure was sleeping at home. He would definitely worry again if he woke up and didn't see her. She needed to get back to him quickly. I'll do it. I'm recording it now. Jack rolled over to grab the recording pen, and pressed the button himself to start recording. It wasn't Luna. Luna wasn't the one who bribed me. It was someone else who asked me to tamper with the prop. But I don't know who that person is. I received an anonymous email with all the instructions in it, and 10,000 yuan was deposited directly into my account. They said that I would receive another 10,000 after it was done. Jack watched Luna carefully as he spoke. The woman opposite him looked extremely impatient and dark. Her eyes were red, and her fingers patted the gun barrel neurotically. She completely looked like a murdering psychopath, and just looking at her made his hair stand on end. Chapter 155. Cleo was about to break into the room to rescue her, when he saw the situation inside flip 180 degrees, and he just stood where he was, stupefied. Single-handedly, and even with a gun. Holy shit. If I'm right, that's a Beretta 92F. Where did she get that from? Cleo was impressed. Then a miserable thought floated through his mind after that. His second chance today to become the hero who saved the beauty had fallen through yet again. Inside the house, Jack stared intently at the gun in Luna's hand, afraid that she would fire at the slightest provocation like earlier. She left him no leeway to react at all. How cruel. I'm telling the truth. Every single word is true. Otherwise, may the heavens strike me down with thunder and lightning. Luna didn't say anything, and he didn't know if she really believed him or not. She spun the gun in her hand skillfully. My little grandaunt. Please don't set it off accidentally. Jack almost pissed his pants as he watched, and he asked nervously, Do you want me to create false evidence by naming someone? If you want me to say it's Emma, then Emma it is. Without conditions. I'll do whatever you say unconditionally. It is whoever you say it is. False evidence. She wanted concrete proof. Luna pointed the tip of her gun at his chin and said, Give me the number of the bank account that the other party sent you the money from, and the email you received. Okay, it's all in my computer, I'll go and get it. But the email was anonymous and it was a foreign bank account, so it might be useless to you. Jack grabbed a laptop out from under his covers, and showed her the email, and all the details of the money transfer. Luna glanced over everything to make sure there were no issues, and said, This laptop belongs to me now, do you have a problem with that? Jack shook his head quickly, No, Grandaunt is free to take it. Whatever you want to take, just take. Luna laughed coldly. She jumped all the way from big sister to grandaunt. This kind of asshole wouldn't listen to reason, and if you gave him an inch when discussing conditions, he would take a mile. He was even more deceitful than you could hope to be at playing tricks, so the only way to deal with him was to fight fire with fire. After returning to China, this was her first time using this gun. There was no way she wasn't nervous, but she was a good actress, and as long as she pretended she was acting, she could instantly calm down. She just picked the role of a murdering psychopath to play. Looks like things turned out nicely. Acting was her passion and her career, and also the means by which she protected herself. Then, Grandaunt, is there anything else? Jack realized that she wasn't leaving, and he swallowed nervously. Luna looked at him like she was thinking of cutting him into pieces. Let me think. Think about what? Of course I'm thinking, whether I should kill you to silence you. What if you turn around to tell other people that I forced a confession out of you? Luna said in a matter-of-fact tone, her expression deadly serious. Jack's legs gave way, and he fell to his knees again. I wouldn't dare, no matter how much courage I have. He really was telling the truth, for he was the type to bully the weak and fear the strong, and this time Luna had really scared him out of his mind. He had never expected that such a gentle and delicate-looking little girl could actually be this frightening. He didn't even dare look into those sinister eyes, for fear he would have nightmares. Luna laughed lightly and patted his cheek with the gun. Don't worry, not only will I not kill you, I'll even send you money. Chapter 156. Jack's first response was to beg for mercy. I don't need it, I don't need it. Grandaunt, please give me a break. I was possessed and spouting nonsense before, there's no way I would dare accept your money. Who says I'm going to give you money? Luna kicked him. Jack rolled to his feet quickly, his face full of innocence. But didn't you just say? This temperamental person in front of him was really driving him mad. Luna looked at him coldly. Wait at home to hear from me. As long as you behave yourself, there'll be lots of money waiting for you. Otherwise... She wanted to contact him again. Hadn't he already given everything to her? Shouldn't their paths no longer cross anymore? Why was he still being badgered? He didn't want money. He wanted his life more. Jack had a lot of bitter complaints, but could only thank her profusely as he saw her off. Downstairs, Luna put on her motorbike helmet, started the engine, and drove straight for the Goldberg residence. When she arrived, she was an hour earlier than she had arranged with Theo. When she entered the living room, Theo was still in the same position as when she had left, sitting on the sofa in the living room. It seemed that he hadn't moved at all. Luna didn't think too much about it and immediately asked, Theo, I'm back. Has darling little treasure woken up? No. Oh, that's good, I'll go upstairs to see him. Wait. Theo suddenly stopped her. What's wrong? Luna somehow felt that there seemed to be something off in Theo's tone. Where did you go? Theo's tone was calm, but it gave her the impression that it was hiding some dark undercurrent. Luna was subconsciously aware of the danger, so she replied in a rush, I went to deal with a private matter, it has now been solved. I'm going upstairs first. After saying these words, she was about to slip away when suddenly one arm stretched out, and in the next second, she was caught off guard by a strong strength that pulled her to fall onto the sofa. To be exact, she fell into Theo's arms. Luna was alarmed. But what alarmed her even more was, Theo. What are you doing? Where is your hand touching? Theo ignored her completely, and continued to directly feel about her body. Hey, if you continue like this, I'm going to fight back. Don't blame me for hurting you then. Then do it. Luna was about to have a breakdown. Sheet. Theo. What are you trying to do? How did you know I can't hurt you? Theo stared at her expressionlessly. Why can't you hurt me? Because. That's right. Why? If it was anyone else, her first reaction would surely have been to beat him up badly. As Luna racked her brain for an answer to this question, Theo's hand fell on an object tucked into her waistband. Luna's eyes immediately turned cold. She was going to stop him, but it was already too late. The gun hidden at the back in the waistband of her pants was instantly in Theo's hand. Theo threw the gun directly onto the coffee table in front of him. His expression, which was usually very soft for her, was now as cold as ice and frost, and every word coming out of his mouth was like an ice blade. Explain. Luna immediately felt nervous, as if she had been caught cheating in an exam by the teacher. Her face turned pale, and she wrung her hands together as she tried to put on a relaxed expression. This is fake. A toy gun. I bought it to play around with. Really? Does a toy gun need a muffler? Theo looked sideways at her, picked up the gun, and fired it at a palm-sized, white jade vase in an opposite corner. The vase shattered immediately. The calm expression that Luna had been trying hard to keep on her face shared the same fate as that broken vase. It also broke. Chapter 157. The air was dead silent. After a very long time, Luna swallowed hard, and started to speak incoherently as she tried to change the subject. Ha. Lord Boss, you're a crack shot. Awesome. But that was such a waste. That vase must have been very expensive, right? Theo's eyes were cold. If you don't want to talk about it, you don't have to. Luna bowed her head in dismay. But your expression is saying that if I don't confess, you'll cut off all ties with me. You're not being sincere at all. Apart from confessing for leniency, did she have a second option? Luna sighed and could only explain to him the ins and outs of the matter. I told you about the problem with the prop, right? When I heard Emma by mistake. Now the props master is saying that I bribed him to tamper with the prop. Isn't he pushing me towards death? With his one statement, not only will my career be destroyed, I'll also be imprisoned. Theo stared at her, so. Luna coughed and faltered. So I forced that guy to tell the truth. Looking at her indifferent attitude, Theo's face turned stormy. Luna, do you know how dangerous it was for you to do that? You're a girl. Luna lowered her head. I know. But wasn't I forced to do so because I had no other choice? You don't know Jack. That man is a hoodlum and a scoundrel. I could only use this simple and crude method to deal with that type of person. I said before, you can look for me if you need help. Instead, you would rather choose such a dangerous method than speak to me. Theo's eyes were filled with heavy disappointment. The look in his eyes made her heart throb painfully for some reason. This was the first time Theo was so angry with her, and Luna was anxious. No. In the end, her head hurt as she sighed. I'm just used to it. Used to solving everything by herself, used to not relying on anyone else. They both became silent again. Hey, but how did you know I had a gun on me? Luna suddenly remembered and asked him suspiciously. Smell. Theo answered with a cold face. So that's it. Is it the smell of gunpowder? I didn't expect Lord Boss to have such a keen sense of smell, he. Theo's face was still as cold as ice, the kind that was 1,000 years old. Flattery failed. Luna said helplessly, Theo, it's really not because I didn't want to tell you, but for this kind of trifling thing, you don't have to personally take action. Otherwise, wouldn't it just be using a sledgehammer to crack a nut? But now I really need your help with one thing. You definitely must help me. I've thought about it over and over again, and only you can help me with this thing. If you won't help me, I'll pester you to death. This time, even though Theo still looked cold, he finally looked at her. Speak. Luna felt a little relieved, and then she hurriedly said, it's like this. Although I have Jack's confession and the email sent by the other party and details of the money transfer, the evidence can only be used to clear suspicion against me, and can't help identify the person behind this. A real person must take revenge on his enemies. It's too easy for her if I let her get away without being punished. So I've been thinking, is there any way to trace the other party's bank account information and IP address? Darling little treasure is so amazing even though he's very young, it's definitely because of Lord Boss's superior genes. So Lord Boss, you must definitely be even more amazing at this, and you definitely have a way, right? Chapter 158. Right. Luna clasped her hands together, her face expectant and sparkles in her eyes, partly to curry favor with Theo, and partly because she in fact really needed the help. Theo was silent for 3 seconds, then he finally opened his mouth, yes. Really? You really have a way. Luna almost jumped with excitement. How long will you need? Theo was about to say an hour, but changed it at the last second. A night. So fast. That's amazing. Luna was overjoyed, and hurriedly took a laptop out. This is the laptop I took from Jack, do you need anything else? I'll get it for you. No need. Saying that, Theo stood up and went upstairs straight away. Luna immediately scrambled after him. When they reached the study, Luna darted forward to attentively pull out the chair for Theo, then placed the laptop on his desk, and ran off to pour him a glass of water. Theo looked at her, then sat in his chair. Theo took his own laptop out and connected the two laptops together with a cable. After browsing through the evidence that Luna had mentioned, he opened an unknown software and typed in a series of codes into the box on the monitor screen. Curious, Luna moved closer to take a look, but as expected, she couldn't understand a single thing. While she was profoundly confused, everything seemed amazing to her even though she didn't understand any of it. As Theo was typing, he suddenly heard light breathing in his ears. His fingers abruptly stopped typing, and he knitted his eyebrows together. "What's wrong? Is there a problem?" Luna asked nervously. Theo sounded a bit cold. "Get away from me." It was very hard for him to concentrate with her being so close to him. Luna's head instantly drooped, like an eggplant weighed down by frost, and sadly moved to the far corner of the room. Seeing the girl's miserable state, Theo almost opened his mouth to comfort her, but held back in the end. Luna hugged a pillow in her arms and quietly observed Theo's side profile as he worked seriously. She secretly savored the view, and realized that what people say about men being the most attractive when they were seriously concentrated on something was so true. For a while, only the soothing sound of clacking keys on the keyboard could be heard in the study. For a long time, Luna sat there struggling with something, and in the end, she couldn't help asking, "Theo, can I ask you a question?" "Go ahead." Why didn't you ask me?" "Ask you what?" Luna curled her fingers tightly into fists. "Ask about the gun." "You're not going to ask me why I have a gun. Don't you think that in many ways I'm different from what you think I am? Don't you think that I'm scary?" "Theo, no." "Luna, oh." Luna's conscience bothered her when Theo didn't ask anything. He treated her as a friend, and didn't hold back in the least in order to help her, while she hid things from him all the time. Therefore, even though Theo didn't ask, Luna spoke up herself. "You know that country isn't a very safe place, and having guns is legal there. When I was there, I learned how to use a gun. Back here, this gun was smuggled in. I don't know the specific details, it was my friend who gave it to me. He was also the one who taught me how to use a gun. It's only as a last resort to defend myself. This is the only time I've used it since coming back." Theo stopped what he was doing. "Who is that friend of yours?" Chapter 159. After hearing this question, Luna looked a bit embarrassed and scratched her head. "I mentioned it to you before, it was that one-day ex-boyfriend. That man again. If they only dated for a day, why did she have so many ties with him?" Theo's expression immediately became very severe. "Do you know that the channels through which guns like this are smuggled in are monopolized by 3 groups? No matter which group that friend of yours belongs to, they are all targeted by the authorities. That includes that diamond, it was most likely smuggled in illegally as well." Her head lowered, Luna murmured, "I know." "You know?" Theo's face became even more unsightly. She knew, and yet she had still been with that kind of person. Also, since she had insider information on the other party, that meant her situation was even more dangerous. Luna explained hurriedly, "He can be a little dangerous, and I'm really sorry that I can't tell you anything about his identity, but he would never hurt me, that I'm sure of." After she finished, she realized that Theo's expression had become the worst ever. At that moment, Luna felt like a naughty kid who had done something bad, and had been caught by her parents. She gripped her fingers together tightly, and didn't dare to make a single sound. The big demon king's aura was too scary when he was angry. Theo finally spoke after a long while. "Give me the gun." Luna had nearly destroyed all his reason earlier when she had defended that man. "Oh." Luna immediately obeyed and gave him the gun. "What are you going to do with it?" Theo was ruthless as he took it. "Take it away from you." Luna immediately rushed forward and cried, "Ah. No. This is my lucky charm. I promise I won't play around with it. And won't let anyone see it." Theo gave her a cold sideways look, opened a drawer, and took out another gun which he gave to her. "Use this one from now on." Luna's eyes immediately lit when she saw the gun which Theo had given to her. This is... She couldn't tell what model it was, but with one look, she knew it wasn't an ordinary gun. Can I dismantle it to take a look? Luna asked cautiously. Seeing the girl's sparkling eyes, Theo nodded. Having received permission, Luna happily took the gun apart, and was amazed when she saw its inner structure. P226. I made some modifications, it's safer now. Theo's expression still wasn't very pleasant. Because Luna's knowledge about guns, how to use them, and how to dismantle one, had clearly all been taught to her by that man. Luna loved the gun, and couldn't put it down as she stroked it. Then she looked at him timidly. People who own a 92F are very dangerous, but you actually managed to get a P226. The 92F was said to be the best gun in the world, but few knew that it was the P226 that was the real deal. It was just that it was too expensive, so it wasn't as commonly used as the 92F. Theo's face immediately turned cold after hearing this. You think I'm dangerous? Luna shook her head like a rattle drum. No, no, no. How is that possible? Lord Boss is the best. You are my guardian angel. Are you tired? Are your shoulders aching? Let me give you a massage. Keep it up, keep it up. Without another word, she ran behind him like a groveling underling, and put her back into massaging his shoulders. Even though he knew she was flattering him on purpose, Theo's stormy face still immediately brightened at the girl's sweet, soft voice, but quickly he tensed up again. The girl's soft, supple hands were using the right amount of strength to massage his shoulders, and were very professional when they moved to massaging his neck and temples. The warm touches and the right amount of strength used were very comfortable, and also very lethal. Chapter 160. You can stop now. To prevent himself from losing control if this continued, Theo called a stop. Oh. Luna didn't think too much of it. She continued to study the gun, then looked in Theo's direction uncertainly as she asked, This gun, are you really giving it to me? Theo, take it as your birthday gift. This was really a special birthday gift. Luna touched the body of the gun gently. Thank you, I like it a lot. The safety performance of this gun was definitely better, plus with its low-key appearance, nobody would know what kind of gun it was unless they took it apart. It was also a lot more convenient to use. As she kept looking at it, Luna couldn't stop herself from tearing up. Theo, thank you, nobody has ever been this good to me. Theo's heart was moved, and just as he was about to speak, Luna said feelingly, It feels just like having a father. Theo. This evaluation was very high, but it also gave him a very strong urge to both laugh and cry. It's already so late, you must be hungry, let me make you a late-night snack. After Luna eagerly ran out of the room, Theo calmly took that gun apart. As he expected, the serial number had been erased. But with this, the possibilities concerning the other party's identity had been drastically narrowed down. After 10 minutes, Luna entered carrying a steaming bowl of food. Theo, are dumplings okay? I saw some left in the fridge from last time, so I cooked some up for you. Put it there. Okay. Luna felt a little bad seeing Theo so busy for her sake, so she lifted the bowl up. Shall I feed you? Theo's eyebrows knitted slightly. At first he was going to refuse, but in the end couldn't bring himself to reject her. I'll feed you, I'll feed you. You just keep doing what you're doing. Luna hurriedly picked up a dumpling and blew on it carefully, then raised it to his mouth. Theo looked at the computer screen with a solemn air, and with an emotionless face, opened his mouth and ate that dumpling. Why didn't he remember them being this delicious the last time he ate them? Luna continued feeding him the dumplings one after another, until they were all gone. Go and rest, I'm almost done here. Theo gave Jack's laptop back to her, then started to concentrate on his own laptop. Oh, okay. Holding the laptop, Luna sat on the sofa in the corner. She started to mess around with Jack's laptop out of boredom, to see if there might be any other type of evidence on it. In the end, she really found some. She found a folder titled Important Secrets in the D drive. Clicking it open, she found many video files. Had that guy hidden more evidence from her? Luna clicked open one of the files suspiciously. Luna felt something was wrong as soon as it started playing, but by the time she reacted, it was too late. In the next second, grunts and groans to make the face turn red, and the pulse race came out of the laptop, and in the quiet study room, it sounded even clearer. Luna. Theo. Luna really wanted to find a hole in the ground to bury herself in, and in her panic, she couldn't close the video no matter how many times she clicked on it. In the end, Theo couldn't just watch anymore, and walked over to help close it for her. Luna threw the laptop aside and complained, "There was a folder called Important Secrets, so I thought it would have some sort of evidence in it, sheet. I should have known. This type of suspicious folder on a man's computer, of course it would be this kind of thing." Theo rubbed the skin between his eyebrows as he looked at the girl's indignant expression, and heaved an extremely helpless sigh. "It's done, come take a look." It was because he was selfish that he had said it would take one night to get it done. He wanted to spend more time with her. But if she continued to torment him like this, he didn't know what might happen.